Imagine going on a simple hike with friends and vanishing into a place locals call the Dragon King's Ponds. 2 days later, your body is found, but with an expression so horrifying, even the police refuse to describe it. What happened to Faye inside those waters? Stay with me till the end, because this story only gets darker. Faye was a 21-year-old university student in China. She was bright, energetic, and loved the outdoors. Hiking and photography were her passions, and she often convinced her friends to join her on weekend trips. In early 2014, Faye heard about a mysterious spot in the mountains called the 18 Ponds of the Dragon King. The ponds were famous in local folklore, deep, dark pools of water said to be cursed. Fishermen told stories of people disappearing, of strange shadows moving beneath the surface, of screams echoing through the forest at night. But to Faye and her friends, it sounded like an adventure. One chilly morning, Faye and her group packed their bags and headed into the mountains. The hike began like any other: laughter, music, selfies, jokes about meeting the dragon. But as they got closer to the ponds, the mood began to change. The air grew heavier, the forest became unnaturally silent, even the birds had stopped singing. When the ponds finally came into view, the group stood frozen. The water was so still it looked like black glass, reflecting nothing but shadows. One of the locals who had guided them whispered, "Do not go near this place. It takes people." The group laughed it off, but Faye, she felt something pulling her. While her friends rested by the edge, Faye decided to explore further. "I'll be right back," she told them. She walked along a narrow trail that circled the ponds and disappeared behind the trees. Minutes passed, then an hour. Her friends started calling out. No answer. Panic set in. They searched the trails, shouting her name, but there was nothing. It was as if the forest had swallowed her whole. By evening, they called the police. Rescue teams arrived with flashlights, dogs, and divers. They combed through the forest. They lowered ropes into the dark ponds. One diver later reported something chilling. The water is bottomless. When you go down, you can feel currents pulling you into tunnels. But where they go, we don't know. The search lasted through the night. No sign of Faye. 2 days later, at dawn, a fisherman spotted something floating near the edge of one of the ponds. It was Faye, but her condition was bizarre. Her clothes were spotless, almost too clean for someone missing in the wild. Her backpack was neatly placed a few feet away, untouched. But her face told another story. Her eyes were wide open, her mouth frozen mid-scream, as if she had witnessed something unspeakable in her final moments. One officer at the scene later admitted he couldn't sleep for weeks after seeing it. The autopsy raised even more questions. There were no signs of drowning, no injuries, no struggle. It was as if her body had simply stopped. Local authorities tried to call it an accident, but people weren't buying it. How could a healthy young woman just collapse and die, her face locked in terror, in one of the most haunted places in China? Rumors spread quickly. Some believed she had been pulled under by the Dragon King himself. Others whispered about underground tunnels beneath the ponds that trapped souls. Skeptics said maybe she had eaten something poisonous, but no toxins were found. To this day, no official explanation exists. 2 days later, Faye's body was finally discovered at the edge of one of the ponds. Her belongings were untouched, her clothes were clean, but her face was frozen in an expression of pure terror. Investigators never explained what she might have seen in her final moments. And here's the disturbing part. Since Faye's death, several others have gone missing around the Dragon King's ponds. Some were never found. So, was it just an accident? A dangerous current? Or Is there truly something in those waters that we are not meant to see? What do you think? Was Faye's death explainable? Or is this one of those mysteries that should never be solved?